Greetings and welcome to another empowering, life-changing episode of the Warrior Confidence Unleashed podcast. I'm your host, Master Coach Rich Grogan. Excited to be here, coming to you as always from beautiful Palmetto, Florida. And hey, another exciting show coming your way. Man, oh man, I just like 10 minutes ago was on a webinar, and it was a host, Pete Vargas, who I work with. I'm so blessed with the 10X stages, him and Grant Cardone. But the guest on there was Deion Sanders. Woo! And it's so crazy how life works out, right? Because I already prepared my podcast notes for the podcast, and I teased some of you by having a video earlier in the week or last week, about what it was going to be about. And I got pages of notes now. So buckle up, baby. We are going to rock and roll with this thing. And of course, the mission, the goal, the purpose of everything we do here is to empower you to unleash that inner warrior that's inside you, unleash that warrior spirit to be who you were born to be, to utilize your unique God-given talents, to stand boldly out from the crowd, not in with the crowd, but out, and utilize those gifts to be the hero of your own epic story in order to leave a legacy, a meaningful legacy that ripples through generations. So I titled this episode, it's episode number 369, by the way. So episode number 369 is there we go, it's easy for me to say, don't disrespect yourself by being jealous. Woo! Yeah. Be the hero you were born to be. You know, I like to think that jealousy is the weakest, most insecure human emotion there is. It is. I mean, because what you're doing is you're saying or admitting, when you say, and I'll get to all kinds of jealous words that I used to use and I hear all the time now, but you're saying when you're jealous of somebody else that they're better than you and there's nothing you can do about it. So, oh, well, he just got lucky. Oh, man, don't be jealous. That's a weak human emotion. That's the greatest form of disrespect to you. You were created, you're one in over 8 billion people on this planet, and you've got unique talents and gifts from God that no one else has. So when we try to, when we're jealous or we try and replicate someone else, which essentially is being nothing but a cheap replica, then we're disrespecting ourselves because we're a priceless original. We have gifts that no one else could ever dream of having. So don't sell yourself short. Don't disrespect yourself by being jealous. Now, what are some of those words? And I'm telling you, a few decades ago, I'm embarrassed to say it, but it's just a reality. I mean, we all learn, we either learn or we continue repeating the same mistakes and poor behaviors and poor choices and continue to stay stuck where we're at. Or we choose, baby, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to get out of this rut. I'm going to get that momentum going, that drive going. I'm going to reclaim my mojo, utilize my unique God-given talents, and be who I was born to be. And that's a priceless original. So unfortunately, these are some of the yucky words that I've used in the past. And now that I'm kind of moving forward, stepping outside not only the comfort zone, but, and I shared, oh goodness, make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you not only subscribe, but watch past videos. There's like 540, 50 videos on YouTube. And then, like I said, this podcast is episode number 369. So make sure you listen to previous ones. But I just talked about what did I just talk about? It's a good thing I got my notes. Squirrel. I get sidetracked. How I used to have that limited mindset. I used to be kind of stuck in a rut. I used to use words and say, I'm jealous of that person. I don't know that I ever actually said the words jealous, but I definitely was. And that kept me stuck. Why? Because I kept disrespecting myself. And now, kind of the goal, I've achieved a certain level of success, which is good. Hard work pays off. I'm telling you that. But kind of the next step, especially being a Ziegler coach, Zig had always talked about moving from, a lot of times we're in struggle mode. So moving from struggle to stability, stability to success, and success, the next step is significance, and then significance to legacy. So kind of the stepping point from success to significant is maybe you've had some success in your own life, which is great. You got to start there before you can share your gifts, because you can't tell someone else how to get better and achieve success if you haven't quite got there yourself, right? But the next step is significance. And significance is having not only your own success, but helping others become successful, being significant in the lives of others. And when you're significant in enough lives, helping enough other people find their true gift, their purpose, their passion, help them unleash their inner warrior, and they become successful, now they're sharing what they did, how they overcame, how they battled through, because we've all got a story. All of us have not only our unique gifts and talents, we all got a unique story that's unique to us. But there's a lot of similarities in a lot of our stories. One, we all struggle at some point in time. We all have to fight battles at some point in time. Now, I have no idea the battles and struggles and challenges you've had in your life. I don't. But I do know if we continuously have pity parties, if we continuously blame others, if we continuously are jealous and envious of others, that's not going to help us become our very, very best. That's just disrespecting ourselves and continuously staying in that rut. And I'm here to help and empower you to dig out of that rut. Now, is my message for everybody? No. I mean, I wish it was, but some people are going to hear my message, and these are the things I get. It was kind of had about my list here is, oh, it must be nice, or you got lucky. The sad thing is, a couple decades ago, I had a limited mindset. And what I meant by that was I thought certain people got lucky and certain people didn't. Well, I've now talk a lot about what luck is. Luck is when preparation, you're preparing, you're working, you're doing all the stuff behind the scenes that nobody else sees, is met with opportunity. And when you see that opportunity, when you have that opportunity, you seize it, you capture it. Why? Because you were prepared for it. And then kind of the cynic side will say, well, why am I going to prepare in case, what if that opportunity never happens? Well, I would much rather be prepared in that opportunity, which at some point in time, I promise you, it's going to be there. But I would rather prepare and maybe it never happened. And then well, at least I learned a lot along the way. At least I got better along the way. At least I achieved a certain level of success along the way. Than not prepare, and that opportunity is right there for the taking, but I'm not ready for it. I haven't prepared for it. So anyway, back to a few other yucky words that I'd say. You don't understand my life. No, I don't. I don't understand your life. And once again, you don't understand mine. And it's not that I'm talking down to anyone. I'm just trying to encourage you to stop using these self-defeating words. Because once again, when we do that, when we're jealous, when we're envious of others' success, all that's doing is disrespecting us, but it's keeping us down, and it's justifying us just staying where we're at. We're meant to accomplish great things. We're meant to do a lot more than we're probably doing right now. I know that I could be doing more. And the notes I took from listening to Primetime Deion Sanders, holy smokes, what a kick in the butt that was. And a big part for me was, my gift, and it was always there because people ask me all the time. It's probably one of the biggest questions I get asked is, how do I know what my gift is? Your gift is what comes the most natural to you. What you do, it's just like, man, professional athletes. Deion was a football and baseball player, right? Man, that guy was a heck of a defensive cornerback. He had speed. He had the knowledge, the talent, and then he made a brand out of it, prime time. But it came natural to him. That's what he talked about. This came natural to me. Well, not everybody's a professional athlete. What comes natural to me is right here, right now, talking into this camera, speaking, doing the podcast, doing the video blogs, being on stage, empowering kids, parents, teens, adults to believe in themselves, develop that warrior confidence. Yeah. I mean, like my book, books on the back shelf there, Becoming Bully Proof. Yeah, it was primarily about developing that bully-proof armor, which, by the way, I got from over here on this side, the armor of God. But in a nutshell, it's everything I've been doing my entire life. It's about self-empowerment. Utilizing the things that I've learned, like my book, Becoming Bully Proof. I didn't believe in myself when I was a kid, and I was bullied severely because of it, even as a teen and young adult for the longest time. And I'm like, why am I allowing this to happen? Well, it's because deep down inside, I didn't have that belief. Now, doing stuff like this scares the heck out of most people. Most people fear. People would rather, I think on the top list of things that scare people the most, public speaking was number one. Death, depending on what list you looked at, was third or fourth. People would rather die 3 or 4 more times than they would to public speak. Well, this comes natural to me. What comes natural to you? That is your gift. Now, it's a matter of if you're willing to take that risk, to take that chance, to get out there and do it. That's what separates those that make it. And what's the definition of making it? Well, if you're able to utilize your unique God-given talents and take those talents and make a career out of it to support your family, your lifestyle, and then I think most important, just as important, you got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure you're moved from, if you're struggling, you got to get out of struggle mode to stability mode. It's what we talked about at the beginning of this thing, right? And then for success mode, but it's give to others, help out others. Zig Ziglar's famous line, probably his most famous quote ever, was, how do you get everything you want in life? By simply helping enough other people get what they want. Yeah, helping others. And you certainly can't help others if you're jealous of others. Now, for me, for the longest time, it was a kind of ingrained natural response. If someone was doing better than me, and there were a lot of people doing better than me, or were they? And the reason I say that is because in my mind, I thought everybody was doing better than I was. It was like, well, I was always told that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't big enough, I wasn't tall enough, wasn't smart enough, I'd never make anything of myself. I'd just be a dumb, not lazy. I was never lazy. I was a hard worker. I mean, that was ingrained from working on the farm growing up. But just a poor, dumb farm boy. Might as well get used to it, Richie. Quit dreaming. Get your head out of the clouds. Some people are lucky, some people aren't, and you're not. You're just going to have to work your whole life. And it's true. Yeah, I'm going to have to work your whole life. But man, be willing to step outside that comfort zone. Now, is it easy? No, it's called a comfort zone for a reason, because you get comfortable in that zone. And then I know I got comfortable making excuses in that zone. Excuses of why other people were succeeding and I wasn't. And I got into that, Oh, it must be nice. Oh, they got lucky. Oh, you don't understand my problems. You don't understand how I grew up. What was another one? Oh, there's another one. Easy for you to say. I get that one a lot. I listen to your videos and your podcasts. Well, it's easy for you to say, but everything is easier said than done. Get over that. Just throw that away. And by the way, if you're saying any of these words, get rid of them. They're self-defeating. It's limiting beliefs. They're holding you back. And worst of all, they're disrespecting you. You're better than that. Like I say, you're better than that. And once again, am I perfect? I got it all figured out? Absolutely not. I'm willing and working hard to learn every single day, to be a better person. Why? Because I want to bring that to you. One, I want to be the very best person I could be, the best 2.0 version of myself. I want to be the best Christian. I want to be the best husband. I want to be the best father, the best leader, the best coach. I want to be the very best I can be in order, because once again, if I'm not at my very best, and not every day is a great day. Well, here, let me back up a little bit. Every day has a potential to be a great day, but not every day is all sunshine and rainbows. That's for doggone sure. But try and find the blessings in each day. As I mentioned earlier about preparation and prepare. The better you plan your days out, the better you plan your weeks out, instead of just kind of wandering aimlessly. And once again, I am telling you everything that I've done at some point in time, and if I'm not careful, if I don't have those guardrails in my life, I drift. I mean, one of the other books back there on the shelf you can see is called Road Trip. That's a book I wrote with Tom Ziglar, Zig Ziglar's son. And it's all about having guardrails in our life. Because without guardrails, now think about what are guardrails? On the highway, you have guardrails because if you drift off the path, bang, you hit the guardrail and you come back hopefully into your lane, not in another lane, smack somebody else. But without the guardrails, you'd go off the embankment. Without guardrails on a bridge, you'd go off into the water. Well, oftentimes we don't have those guardrails in our life. And before we know it, we've drifted. And the further and the longer we drift, the further we get off the path, the harder it is to get back. And then we get in that excuse mode, that jealousy mode, being envious of others mode. Don't do it. I have no idea the struggles you've went through. Anybody out there? No idea the struggles I've gone through? I talk about my learning lessons along the way there, and I share some struggles, but I share those not for a pity party, but I share those to let you know, hey, I'm human too. I struggle with those things. Something I always like to say is, if we all took all of our problems and threw them in a pile together, and we looked around and we saw the problems that other people had, more than likely we'd say, you know what? I thought I had some problems. Woo, I'm just going to go ahead and take my problems out of this pile and back on up, and I'm not going to say a word again because, holy cow, I had no idea you were struggling with that. But for the most part, I mean, we're humans. We think of ourselves first. And to a degree, we need to do that. We need to make sure we're at our very, very best. Like I mentioned, kind of the steps. If we're struggling in so many other ways, we got to make sure we move from that struggle to that stability mode first. Because we really can't help anybody if we haven't helped ourselves. You know, I've been working out like a maniac with my workout partner, Dave. Shout out to my buddy Dave and Dave's gym. It's kind of funny. His last name's Hendrickson. So I bought him a sign that's in his gym, and it says Jim Hendrickson, no pain, no gain. So anyway, we see some of the videos of posting pictures and videos of the gym. You'll see that sign in there. But anyway, that was I had slid off the path. Heck, I wrote a doggone book about it. So I talk about feeling like a hypocrite, right? Well, sometimes I forget to take my own advice. But I know when I'm doing these videos and doing these podcasts and speaking on stage and empowering others, I got to make sure, because I don't want to feel like a hypocrite. I got to make sure I do my best to stay on the right track, stay on the right path. And I'll tell you, the more I do these videos, and it's my natural gift, and I'm blessed with that. I was always told I talk too much. Second grade teacher, Richie talks too much. Every one of my report cards. Surprised I don't have carpal tunnel from all the sentences I had to do in grade school. I will not talk in class. I will not talk when the teacher's talking. So anyway, I guess the teachers were telling me something, right? But anyway, it was a gift. But back to what I'm talking about with problems and with not realizing the struggles everybody else goes through. I had, when I first, well, not first, but started really taking kind of my speaking career, if you will, to the next level. One, I knew I needed help. I needed mentors. And I didn't want to pay for them at the time. I was like, well, what am I going to learn? Well, heck, I have to say, up until 2008 or 9, I hadn't read a book. I didn't even know I could read because I chose not to read. Now, somehow I got a college degree. It was in kinesiology. Well, I enjoyed that, right? It was sports. It was teaching PE. It was learning about the body. I was a personal trainer at the time. You know, I did my aerobic videos. You can see those back there. All kinds of other stuff. But as far as reading self-help and development books and coaching books, well, I guess I read some coaching books, but it was mostly magazines. But I'd always struggled reading. I had some learning difficulties as a child, and I knew reading was not my thing. So I used that as an excuse. That's why I don't read. And then the other excuse was, I'm almost 40-something years old. What the heck am I going to learn? Bad. Limited mindset. Back then, I was using those, well, it must be nice. Oh, you got lucky. Using those jealous excuses. Being envious of others. I had no idea the destruction it was doing and how it was holding me back. It was like, when a boat goes to leave the port, they got to take off the ropes that are holding it to the port, right? To the dock. If they don't, they're not going anywhere. Or if they have an anchor and they're trying to drag the anchor, it's slowing them down. Well, my limiting beliefs were the anchor. Also, you got to be careful the people you surround yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with anchors that allow you to have the pity party, to allow you to be jealous, to allow you to use words and phrases like this, to allow you to come up with excuses of why you're not working out, all they're doing is holding you back. They're not helping you. Now, another thing that I've done in my life, I don't drink anymore. And I'll be honest, I mean, I've never drank a whole lot, but I did my fair share. I wake up the next day, not feeling the best. And then, of course, the older you get, the longer it is to recover. And what happens in your mind? You start making excuses. It happens. Now, you do you. You live your life. I'm just telling you since June of 2023, I haven't had a single drink of alcohol. I'll tell you what, I feel better. June of 2023, I got on the scale and I was 202 pounds. Now, I know for most men that's not a lot. I'm 5'7". It's the most I've ever weighed in my life. Now, I said, enough. Committed. And I could really thank my workout buddy Dave. He's fantastic. He's part of the 82nd Airborne, and really connected with him because Dad, see my hat up there, Dad was part of the 101st Airborne Division of Vietnam. So a bunch of bad butts there, right? Yeah, some bad dudes. Good dudes, hard worker dudes. They know what life's rough. But anyway, I'm down to 173 pounds now. Jacked up, baby. Yeah. Now, did it come easy? Absolutely not. Are there days I wanted to make excuses? Heck, I didn't want to get up this morning because we did legs yesterday and destroyed it. Holy cow. And I'll give a quick shout out to the Fitbod app. So the app we've been using, man, it's amazing. It kicks our butt. Fitbod is the name of the app. Fantastic. I need to work out a deal with them and, maybe get a code or something where y'all can get a discount if you use Fitbod and whatnot, get it out there. But today we did chest, and we blew it out of the water again. That little, I guess, bully in my brain. Oh, dude, you've been working out. You worked out in what is today as we're recording this. What is today? The 29th. Yes. So it's been 29 days in a row. And by the way, I've been doing this Warrior Confidence Challenge. If you haven't followed on TikTok or YouTube or where else? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of them. My hashtag is, or not hashtag, handle is Real Rich Grogan. Check that out. But anyway, we got so there's 31 days in March. So I got a 31-day Warrior Confidence Challenge going where I'm doing videos every single day, just talking about staying up with the challenge and what you're doing to help you become the best 2.0 version of yourself. And I'm telling you, when you're doing these things, not only are you planting good seeds in your mental garden, you feel much better about yourself. You're inspired to be you, to be the best 2.0 version of you, to get your mojo back, get that momentum going, get that drive going. By doing those things, you don't have those limiting beliefs in there talking about being jealous and envious of anybody else. You're respecting yourself by being your best, by doing your best. You're not disrespecting yourself by being jealous of someone else. And by the way, envy is one of the 7 deadly sins for a reason. Yeah, don't be envious of someone else. They've got their talents. And if they're utilizing those talents and they're extremely successful from utilizing those talents and they're doing it in a good, decent, moral way, don't envy them. Learn from them. Get better from them. Learn what they did. Reading books, and I said I didn't know I could read up until it was like 2008, 2009. Man, oh man, my bookshelf, I probably got 400 books on my bookshelf now. I've got 530-something books on my Audible account, 1,400 hours of listening time on Audible alone, and I've had other apps, listen to. Now, I'm not telling you that to brag or to impress you. Well, maybe just a little bit. I'm telling you that because it all started with that first book in Audible. It all started with that first book on the bookshelf. Now, here's another mindset thing I would say. Why in the world am I going to pay $15, $20 for a book? What am I going to learn from that? Holy smokes. Talk about limiting beliefs. Knowing I've written 3 books now, the amount of time it takes to put into writing a book, on average, it takes roughly 10,000 hours to write a book. So what you're getting is 10,000 hours of wisdom, of knowledge, of experience from that author and whatever amount of time it takes you to read a book. Now, the Audible version of Becoming Bully Proof is, 4 hours long. Now, to record that 4 hours of Audible, I think we recorded for almost 15 and a half hours. That's just a recording. That wasn't the writing of the darn thing. Why? Because of the edits and the redos and, this didn't sound right. So I'm just telling you from my own books. But I used all those things. Why am I going to pay this money for a book? What am I going to learn? Oh, my gosh. Limited mindset. Like an anchor in my life holding me back. Start surrounding yourself with other people that are on a success path, other people that have been there, and that's what I mentioned earlier about hiring mentors and guides and coaches that have the knowledge, that have the experience, that have the wisdom to get you to where you want to go. But by simply reading a book, 10,000 hours from the right, you can get that knowledge in 4 or 5 hours. Holy smokes. Think about that. Now, is every book a good book? No. No. Absolutely. And I credit everybody that's ever written a book, but not every book's right for you. Not every podcast is right for you. I am not right for everybody, and you're not going to be right for everybody. But the people you are right for, man, they are craving the knowledge you have. They are craving the wisdom you have. But you can't share that with them if you're constantly being jealous of someone else. And, Teddy Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. So when you compare yourself to someone else, you're stealing your own joy, good or bad, on the comparison side. Meaning you could say, well, I'll never be as good as that person because, oh my gosh, look at the talents they have. And look at if you're going to talk about athletes, I've been an athlete my whole life. Never the most talented or gifted athlete, but gosh darn it, I had a willingness to outwork everybody. And you heard me talk about this on one of the last ones. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That's worth repeating. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It's true, because talent's only going to take you so far. But back to the comparison game, when you compare yourself to somebody else, you're defeating yourself. You're almost bullying yourself, saying, I'm never going to be as good as them. Well, the truth is, no, you're not ever going to be as good as them. Why? Because they have different talents. They have different gifts than you have. The same token, they're not going to be as good as you at your unique talents. But we get so hung up on where they're at on the social spectrum, or how many friends they have on social media, or how successful we perceive they are. All the conferences and workshops I go to, I had a chance recently to have a chat with Grant Cardone. Fantastic. And he brought up something. It's something I brought up before, but it was a great reminder. That's why I continue going to these things. Because I had somebody say the other day, how much money have you spent, and why do you keep going to all these workshops and buying these books and these programs? Well, the amount, if I total it up, it's kind of, I'm like, holy cow. My poor wife's like, oh my gosh. But little by little, it's not like I paid for it all at once. In the last 10 years, the last decade, I've spent over $100,000. Woo! It's like, well, I don't have $100,000 to spend. Well, I didn't either. Started off just, buying a workshop that was, or a book, $15, and then a workshop that was $100 or $97, and then another one was $200. And then the more I went, the more connections I made, the more I was able to grow the business. The more I was able to grow the business, the more I was able to go to other ones. And then I was able to get my VIP, which, by the way, when you're able to afford the VIP, I highly recommend it. It's a whole different, my gosh, it's a whole different level, because now you get a chance, just like I did with the VIP with Grant Cardone, to talk to him, to chat with him. Woo! But anyway, he brought up, and this is a great right hook of reality as a reminder. He said, he goes, I know countless people who are, quote, quote, rich, but I really only know, I forgot what number he said. He said a few, but he said most of those people that are, quote, quote, rich aren't wealthy. Now think about that for a minute. What does that mean? Well, it's one thing to have money, but it's another thing to be wealthy. And the difference is, yes, you got to have money to pay the bills, and I've been plenty of guilty of this in the past, so money focused that I was broke in all other areas of life. Wealthy is being balanced in all areas of life. There's 7 spokes on the Ziegler Wheel of Life. And by the way, if you go to our website, warriorconfidence.com, drop your email in there. You get the free Warrior Confidence Wheel of Life. And you can take the assessment and kind of see where you're at as far as that, how wealthy you are with that Wheel of Life. And there's 7 spokes. 7 spokes are your finances, how you're doing with that, your business or career, how you're doing with that, your personal and family life, how you're doing with that, with your friends, how you're doing with that, and then your health. And we talk about 3 levels of health: your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health. And those are the 7 pillars of the 7 spokes of the Wheel of Life. Yeah. And the Warrior Confidence just so happens to have 7 pillars as well, right? WARRIOR. Woo! How in the world did that happen? Sometimes things just work out. But anyway, jump on there to the website and print that thing out. Take the assessment to kind of see where you're at. But that's what true wealth is, being balanced in all areas of life. So there's a difference. So back to, and I'll make sure I don't miss anything on my notes here. Jealousy is the weakest human emotion. Stealing, oh yeah. Back to you're 1 in over 8 billion on this planet. and this is something I talk about a lot because I need the reminder myself. Because we do. We anytime we're feeling down, that little voice in our head, that negative voice that starts chirping loud, start telling us all the reasons why we can't do this, why we're not good enough. And for me, for the longest time, the biggest barrier that was holding me back, or the biggest anchor that was holding me back, fear in my mind of, you ready for this? Lack of self-confidence. And that fear, lack of self-confidence fear, that barrier came in the shape of, I'll never be good enough. I'll never be smart enough. I'll never be able to achieve my dreams and goals. And let me share with you the biggest fear I've always had. I think I've only talked about this a handful of times, but I'm going to continue to talk about it more. It could be as genuine and open and transparent as possible. Was the fear of never utilizing my God-given talents, living up to be who God wants me to be. But here was the biggest fear. Not being the hero for my family, my wife and kids, the people I lead and mentor, and not being the hero of my own epic story. Because we are. All of us have an epic story. But we choose to be that hero. We choose to battle through. And why does everybody like movies with superheroes? Because the superhero has to overcome adversity, has to overcome challenges. They have the challenges and battles, different than what we have, but it's a lot of similarities. But they overcome it. They empower us. That's why we love those movies, right? It's like, yes, I can do that. Yes, you can. But you got to be willing to do it. And you can't do it if you're being jealous and blaming others for your shortcomings or your failures. Now, is life fair? No. It is not fair. But don't go around saying how unfair life is. Just know that it isn't. But know you're going to have to work twice as hard. You can do it. But got to change the mindset. You got to believe in you. Believe in your unique God-given talents. You got to be the priceless original you were born to be. And don't try and be a cheap replica of someone else. How would you be a cheap replica? Don't do it. Don't do it. Get rid of those thoughts. Don't disrespect yourself. Get rid of that weakest human emotion. Yeah. It's also, not only is it the weakest human emotion, it's the greatest sign of insecurity. It is. Don't do it. You're better than that. I believe in you. God gave you a gift. Use that gift. And no, it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. That's why you're listening to this, right? Yes. So I'm here to motivate you, empower you, inspire you, to relight that fire, help you reclaim your mojo, to be the hero of your own epic story, to leave a meaningful legacy that ripples through generations. Yes. So something, when you're done and gone, people are going to say, man, that person inspired me. That person helped me. Think about that. That's a life well lived. And speaking of life well lived, got to make sure I give a shout out to my sponsors here, right? Connected Leaders Academy. Jose Escobar was the head of the Connected Leaders Academy. Fantastic group. I'm a part of that group, and it's all about, well, just like the name says, connecting leaders within an academy. And leaders from all different walks of life, business owners. Now, you need to be a business owner. You need to have something to share in order to be in the Connected Leaders Academy. But if that's something that you want to connect with a like-minded group of leaders, bang. The link is in the description box. Check that out. And the next sponsor is my wife's coffee truck business, Beachside Blends. Now, she's here in Florida. We're in the Palmetto, kind of Sarasota area. Palmetto's a small town we live in, but Sarasota area. So go to her website. The link is in the description box. It's beachsideblends.com. Check them out. It's get their schedule. So if you live here in the surrounding area, check out their schedule and see where they're at. Man, go get yourself a wonderful cup of coffee, a luscious lotus drink, smoothie. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. And but if you're not, maybe you're visiting Florida, still check it out. See where they're at. So when you come to Florida, maybe come to this beautiful area. Maybe we'll get a chance to see you somewhere and see where they're at and grab yourself a drink. And then my daughter, yes, she actually, Madeline, she's 20 years old, started her first business. I'm so super proud of her. It's called Enchanted Events. So she's for, I don't know how many years, well, at her martial arts academy, she would help do the karate birthday parties. Now, and since she's been here in Florida, she's been doing character performers where she'll dress up like a princess, like Elsa or Cinderella or Bella, and do birthday parties for little kids. Well, she decided she started her own business, and the link will be in the description box. It's FL for Florida, FL Enchanted Events. So check that baby out. If you've got a young kid and you're in this area and you want to have the most amazing birthday party for your little princess, check it out. And she also kind of revisited in the past there from the Martial Arts Academy. She does karate birthday parties too. So she'll go through the princess parties. She'll be the princess. For the karate parties, she'll teach self-defense. She'll teach manners, discipline, and respect. And there's prizes and gifts for the birthday child. And then I guess a different package. They have stuff for all the other kids too and whatnot. But the link is in the description box. Check that baby out as well. And last, the Warrior Confidence Inner Circle. That baby will be starting up very, very soon. And what that's all about other warriors out there that maybe your momentum's gotten a little stuck. Maybe you're feeling like, man, I'm losing my mojo or lost my mojo. It's all about, sort of like the Connected Leaders Academy, but this group's a little bit different. This group is all about kind of that self-empowerment. Iron sharpens iron. We're going to help you be your very, very best. Now I say a select group. I'll personally interview everybody to make sure it's the right group. Why? I want to make sure we have the right people in the group to make sure the group continues to grow and help one another. Can't have someone in there that's not willing to do the work that's needed in order to grow themselves, and then, of course, be an accountability partner for someone else. So that's what the group's all about. So anyway, all those links are in the description box, so check that out, please. So to kind of wrap this thing up in a bow, and kind of some of the notes I got from Deion Sanders, kind of skimmed through it. I readjusted my own notes here. His whole thing it fit right in with the jealousy thing. Be you and be the best you can be. Don't worry about what someone else is doing. Don't worry about someone else's success. Don't judge them on what you think you may know. Be you. Now, learn from them and grow from them as long as, and here's a big one, and we talked about this before, you've got to have your core values in place. My core values: honor, integrity, discipline, respect. They've been in place for, I guess a couple decades now, but all I know is without those barriers in place, those guardrails, I'm like, well, I'll try this. Well, I'll try. And there's nothing wrong with trying different things, but you got to make sure they align with your core values. And if they don't waste your time on them. Same thing with people you choose to follow and associate and work with. You've got to set up your core values. Now, they're different for everybody. Those are my 4. And if they work for you, wow, you're definitely what we're looking for in the Warrior Confidence Unleashed Inner Circle. But come up with yours, and those are your non-negotiables. You're not going to break those. And listening to Deion Sanders talk about that very thing, I'm like, holy cow. And talking about the reasons he did the things he did. Everybody thought he was always showing off and this and that. Well, he was trying to prove to himself that he was worthy enough. And he was trying to, his mom, he talked about her, all the extra work she did, the odd jobs. She never got to see him play high school ball because she was always working. So his goal was, look, not only am I going to be the best athlete I can be, I'm going to create a brand, because my goal is to make sure my mom doesn't have to, do all the odd jobs that she's doing just to pay the bills. That was his goal the whole time. Like, whoa. So once again, at some point in time, you probably judged Deion and said, oh, he's cocky, he's arrogant. Well, he was just confident in his abilities and confident in what his goals were. So there we go. Something, learned, from that. And that's why I continuously go to these workshops, these conferences, these seminars, always learning. And I encourage you to do the same. And the fact you're listening to this, hopefully this was educational for you and helped you in some way, shape, or form. So if you're watching on the YouTube channel, make sure you drop it in the comments. Let me know what was your takeaway from this show. And make sure you like and subscribe, ring that bell. And if you found value, please share it with someone else so they can also find value in this and continuously help them become their very best. Because like Zig's quote, right? How do you get everything you want in life? By helping enough other people get what they want. And if you're listening on a podcast app, please, subscribe. That 5-star review, that helps us get higher in those search engines and search results engine things. I'm real technical. In order for others to find it. Because inevitably, if we've got more people that are empowered, more people that are inspired, more people that are motivated to utilize their talents, man, they're going to make the world a better place to live. People that are jealous and having pity parties and are angry about everything, That doesn't help society. That doesn't help you. Doesn't help me. Doesn't help anybody. It certainly doesn't help our kids. And people say, well, society is a mess. It is a mess. I'm not going to lie to you. That's why we've got to unite and be strong in order to create a better society, in order to be our best, to empower our kids and those we lead to be their very, very best. Because things change. And this kind of nonsense is going on in society right now. They're getting all the negative attention because energy goes, things flow, and it's flowing in the wrong direction. Well, let's put some energy into some positive. Let's put some energy into empowering ourselves to be our best so we can empower others to be their very, very best. And I promise, good is always going to win. There's a lot of evil in the world. I'm not naive to that. Because people say, well, how can you stay so positive? I get frustrated when I see the yucky stuff. But I think, man, I just need to work harder to empower more people in order, light. Think about darkness is just the absence of light. You go into a room that's dark, you flip on the light switch, the light comes on, the darkness goes away. Well, that's what we need to do. And we can't do that by disrespecting ourselves and being jealous. Good? All right. Man, oh man, that's a good topic. I could probably talk about this for another 2 hours. But I'm going to leave you with that. Remember, jealousy is not only the weakest human emotion, but it's the greatest form of disrespect to yourself because you've got a unique gift that no one else has. And when we're spending our time being jealous of someone else, we're certainly not focused on the gift that we are. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you so very much for listening. I truly appreciate your time. And I promise I'm going to not only continue doing these, stay on a regular schedule. Now they got my back wall. If you can see my back wall back there, if you're listening on a podcast app, make sure that you jump on the YouTube channel, Real Rich Grogan, and check that baby out. We got that baby done. Got a little more to do on my bookshelf over here, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. Looking good. And, of course, I could not do this alone. My beautiful, wonderful wife is the one that she did almost all the work on it. And because if it was me, that bookshelf would be so jammed crowded with stuff, you wouldn't be able to see what's on it. She goes, no, you got to kind of stage it. You can't have all that stuff. You got to move this. You got to move. Like, okay. She thinks I got too much on there right now, but it was a compromise. Well, anyway. All right, folks. I love you. God loves you. Please share that love with the world. And until we talk again, you get out there and do your best. And I promise you'll be your very best. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. Can't wait to read your comments. And I can't wait to chat with you again real soon. Have a blessed day, everybody. Thank you so much. God bless. Bye-bye.